See you soon, Fatima. Let's go, Hayden.
What the you looking at?
Shit I got planned for you? Just wait.
Hi guys, it's your favorite mystic, TheSirenSayz. Welcome back to my commentary channel where I speak about movie, TV, and soon to come books, and everything that I like, dislike, and the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything all throughout and in between those frames of media. Now, disclaimers, these people are not real, so the passion is just, us delving into the world to a certain extent. You can be passionate in the comments, but calm it down. Let's be respectful. I try to be respectful as much as I possibly can. Also, Tyler Perry, I know I can still see the remnants of your writing following us out. Obviously, season 7 will be a different story, but oof, this was a lot. Still in disclaimers, I wanted to say I did enjoy this episode. I did. Until we got to the Sabrina and Danny part, then I just started to care less. And a little bit when we got to Fatima and Zach, but not as much. We're gonna have a long discussion this video. I don't know how long the video gonna be, but I'm not gonna watch the clock like I usually do. Now, we're gonna talk about it piece by piece, part by part, but I did want to say that I did enjoy what I saw. Okay? So, let's get into it right now. First, let's just get into Danny and Sabrina in the beginning, because who cares? So, they're going into more the fact that, she got a photo that shows that Preston is married. Some of you said in the comments of my last chat video, it wasn't about the episode, it's just a chat, topic. One of you said that it could be Mindy. Mindy could have sent the text, because, she could be just sent the text. I hope that's what happened, because it still seemed a little out of nowhere for Preston to do this. Now, I know some of you are saying, no, it's not, but think about it. Whenever Preston would start doing wild shit like this, it would be because of somebody else. Like, he starts dating a whole bunch of women before the Mindy thing, because Zach told him to, right? His other friends convince him to give Mindy another shot, because they don't like Danny. It's always been other people telling him what to do instead of him personally following his heart, because whenever he does try to follow his heart, Danny shuts him down. So, somebody said it was probably Mindy who took a photo and sent it. Stole his phone and sent the picture. That's my headcanon. So whoever said that, I definitely agree with you. That's my headcanon for right now, because it doesn't really make sense that Preston would do that. That's just really weird to me. Preston meeting up with Danny after being married and being like, look, I'm married now, that is realistic. But him sending a picture as soon as it happened, that's not really something Preston would do. Preston would buck up on her after and kind of try to shove it in her face a little bit under somebody else's orders than him just randomly sending a picture. I don't believe that. So we're just gonna leave it at that. Danny and Sabrina are talking about it. Danny is obviously upset about it. And this is why, guys, I'm telling you, she did like Preston. However, the writing decided that she's not going to do anything sensible about it. So it's over. And this is just why I can't like Danny. I can't. I literally was watching her scenes today and I was rolling my eyes. I was like, whatever. Okay, can we get off now? We'll get into that later. But yeah, they spoke about it. Sabrina was able to tell that Danny was upset. And because she was able to tell that Danny was upset, she wants to pop up at her house later. So we're not going to see that. I think when season 7 comes, there's going to be a slight time skip. I will be making a video about season 7 later on, so you will be seeing that. You'll also be seeing the first episode of For Better or Worse. Just had to put that in there because I'm always going to put that in there. But anyways, yeah, they spoke about it. She feels sorry for her. It is what it is. Let's get into the best part of the episode. The entire law firm scene was goated. to be honest, and I've enjoyed a lot of things about this show, in pieces, like romantic scenes, my favorite, both scenes with Robin being my favorite, but this scene in the law office, I had to give Andy her tens, okay? I've told you guys that Tyler Perry has been trying to gaslight me for years. Andy's so smart. Andy's a lawyer, so she's really smart, and she knows how to play people, and she's really smart, and she got this bad B Andy moment. Bad B Andy. I didn't believe it. I kept watching it and rolling my eyes. All of her wins would come off screen. Like Andy was just too stupid, and she still is. But in this one moment, I saw bad B Andy, and I loved every second of it. Every second. This is what you should have been showing us to get us to understand who Andy really is. The real Andy has finally come into frame, and I loved every second of it. I really did appreciate, also just slowing it down a little bit, I appreciated that she gave Penelope a chance. Because y'all know how I felt in the last episode. I was really pissed off with Andy. I was like, girl, if you don't let Penelope say something, if you don't talk to this girl, you're acting like it affected you the exact same way. No, it affected you. But she's in deeper than you are. You, for some reason, have this codependency where you felt like you need to keep going back to him, even after you realize that he was not the one before this whole thing came out. She is stuck with him because of this baby. It is similar, but it is different. You can, like I said, and I still mean this, I don't care what nobody says, she can walk away. Penelope cannot just walk away. That's why Gary said what he said, and we go get into what Gary said. Because, the whole time I was watching, every time I saw Gary, I was winding up my fist. I was like, just I have to say, I enjoyed this scene, and I was being a little toxic. Like, I was looking at Fatima, and Fatima was throwing out the big game, and it was reckless. Just like I said, Fatima is forever being reckless, but I was here for it in that instance because somebody needs to put Gary down. Somebody needs to put Gary down a notch. Let's get into Gary for 5 seconds. So he starts telling Penelope again that he don't care about Andy. It is what it is. He loved Penelope. It is what it is. Penelope is not hearing this, as she shouldn't. But however, because they do have a baby together, I am scared that she might leave the door open just a tad, because there's a baby involved, and because soul ties. So, as it pertains to that particularly, I think Penelope did the right thing just walking away. And I did enjoy Fatima being the bulldog and coming up to Gary. Gary, what was you gonna do when you told her that she needed to get the F out your face? What was you gonna do, sir? Like I usually say in a lot of my videos, get this man off my screen. This man is a menace to society and a danger to everybody with a uterus. I don't understand why. I don't even understand why this is happening. He's a danger to women. Like get out. Tyler, why? Why is Preston like, he's not on the show no more? He might have a cameo or two later on, but he's about to be on Fatima. I'm not watching Fatima. Why is Preston gone, right? Aaron's gone. All the people like that you really could have tried to build the characterization for, they're gone, right? Robin, I don't know where he is. He might come back just to be kicked off unceremoniously. But all those people are gone. But Gary is still here on my screen, causing even more mayhem than we thought. We're going to get into that. Walk with me. Walk with me very slowly. We cruising. We strolling. North, south, east, west coasting. We coasting. Just come along with me, okay? So Fatima gets him to back off. He decides to turn up and go with Hayden. Obviously, we know why. Get to the office scene. Penelope, she's so gracious in this situation. She wants answers, but then she realizes that Andy must be affected some type of way, and she's not sure if she should just dump all of this on Andy right now. But I'm glad that she did, because before Andy acted right as she did in this episode, I was like, no, Penelope, do it. Andy needed a bit of a wake-up call, just a little bit, Like, she needed to know that yes, this is affecting you. Nobody's saying it's not. But you trying to make this all about you, do that when you're alone. When this woman who is now impregnated by this monster is coming to you asking for something, you either stand 10 toes down that you just don't want to talk to her and be terrible in that way because, you know, you can do what you want, but it will still be bad. Or you find some empathy in your heart. Open your heart just a little bit and see if you can help her a little bit. Now, if she doing too much and she acting too much like, oh, when y'all were in bed, what was his favorite position? Cause you know, I used to ride like she not asking all that. She not being extra like that. She just want to know, in these dates where I had suspicion, was he with you? That's really all she asked. And then it was revealed by Penelope, because she's not stupid. And I kept thinking to myself, you know, for somebody who was characterized by the brother to be so smart, I think it was interesting that she couldn't see it with Gary, but she could. And I appreciate how she was characterized in that respect, because you could see that she knew something was up. Go back to the fated dinner that tore the Sistas fan base in two. When she heard Danny say what she said, she didn't look shocked. She looked angry. You know what I mean? I think that is something important to note. She didn't look shocked. She looked angry. She wasn't like, oh my God, what did you say? Huh? She was like, what did you say? What did you say? It was a little shocked, but more like, my suspicions have been confirmed. And if you watch the rest of the dinner, that's how she looked. She looked resigned, sad, like I knew something was going on. I was just really hoping that I was wrong. And that makes me respect her, because she's not dumb like Andy. Sorry. She's not stupid like Andy. So as she's speaking with Andy, Andy is acting right, you know, giving her a chance, explaining things to her. And then Penelope lets it drop that on the dates that Andy can't account for because she just believed him when he said that he was going on a business trip, Penelope believes that some of those dates are 2 other women. And there might be more than that, but for right now, there are 2 other women unaccounted for who he is also playing. Here's what, and I don't like Gary, but if we're going to use him for plot, here's how I would use him. I would make one of those girls aware of everything. You know, like kind of like a bottom bee, you know, a girl who's like aware of everything that's going on, and she's obviously being a boo-booed. A boo-boo means ABUSE, don't forget it. And you know, she's not getting it any better. She just, the only privilege she's getting is that she's aware that he messing around with other girls. You know what I mean? I want to talk about Gary's new characterization, and it's not too new, but it's like a weird upgrade that needs more patches, because it kind of doesn't make all the sense they think it does, in my personal opinion. So we're gonna get into that. So Andy, she's like, no, I think, you know, he does have female clients. He could just be going out of town. And Penelope was like, no, girl, look at this ring. This is another girl's ring. He buys all of us the same ring. I'm like, oh, I was like, get this man off my screen. So because of that, Andy gets heated, and she wants to know for sure if not only was he playing Jasmine, Andy, and Penelope, there are other girls involved in this mess. So she calls up Fatima, you know, squat up. And Fatima is like, let's pop it. Let's get it popping. So we get into the office room, right? They barge in on Hayden and Gary, right? And, you know, at first Hayden is like, nah, y'all can't be in here. But Gary is just relieved to have Penelope approach him. So he's letting it happen for the most part for right now. And this is the Andy I've always wanted to see. The Andy I feel like we would have gotten sooner if the writers had taken her relationship with Robin seriously. I feel like she would have done this to Gary a long time ago if she and Robin were a serious item or were taken together seriously. I'm sorry, I have to put my own headcanon and propaganda in there. I have to. It's called a personal opinion, okay? You guys are here not just because you want to hear somebody talk about the show, but because you want to know what I think. And so I'm gonna give you what I would have liked, what I saw, and what I think. All right. So, you know, the girls are sitting there like the three sirens in Hercules, ready to sing this man a song of demise. And I loved Andy here, I just have to say. She really let the beans spill. And even though it was a little cringy, when she said, Gary, how about you stop a boo-booing black women? I said, ooh! Ooh! You go, girl. Hell yeah! Hell yeah, Andy. Girl, I was so proud of her, bro. I was like, you tell him. And then there was kind of this pause in one of those phrases that she said, almost like she was going to admit to him choking her out, but she didn't. Which is why I was saying in my versus video, Danny versus Gary, you can watch that. Why did you make him choke her out if it's not going to be a pattern of behavior for him? You know? If for the most part he would never really put his hands on women, why did you have like the scenes with him and Jasmine and the scenes with him and Andy where he was an aboo-booer? Why did you do that if nobody else is ever going to bring those scenes up ever? You know what I mean? I just think it's a very weird thing to like have very prominent, because it's one of the reasons I don't like him. You know, him being a cheater is pretty bad and I don't like that either, but him being an aboo-booer, like physical aboo-booer, is like there's no redeeming that. Go to prison and go to jail. Like there's just no, you know. So for me, I feel like maybe don't put those scenes in if they don't mean anything later. That's just to clean up the writing and to help things make more sense later on. That's just my personal opinion. I was hoping she would have brought it up because, I don't know, maybe it would have been distressing for Penelope to hear that her husband has aboo-booed people physically. But, you know, what's going to be worse than her hearing that she's one of 4 other girls? Like, excuse me? Not to mention, when Andy dropped the bomb about Jasmine, his ex-wife. Well, we're saying ex-wife, but he said your wife, so Penelope was shook. So, and then he's like, well, I told you I had a situation. I had to pause. I was like, Gary, that's not a situation, sir. That's your wife, and she had kids. And from what I can remember, it's not like Aaron, where she came into the marriage with children. Those are your kids. Why are you a deadbeat father? I'm asking for a friend. Why are you a deadbeat? We're just trying to figure it out. We haven't figured it out. You're a deadbeat, bro. And it's absolutely sickening. It's sickening. You're sickening. And nobody likes you. Just had to add that in there. He is a criminal. You know I can't finish it without saying that. He is a criminal. An absolute criminal. And I have no idea why we as the viewers are forced to listen to this man on my screen any longer. Now, is the drama juicy? Sure. But I hate Gary so much that I don't care no more. And you're like, but what do you mean by that? Let me explain, right? Perfect example, Gary versus Hayden. Hayden is a nuisance. He is Dennis the Menace. He's terrible. I would understand if he gets kicked off the show. However, his brand of annoyance adds to the plot better, makes more sense, right? And people react to Hayden the way that they're supposed to. People don't always react to Gary the way they're supposed to. Like, everybody treats Hayden like the bug on the wall of a newly furnished apartment where there should be no insects. A gum on the back of a shoe. A bug that you just squished on and now your shoes got bug guts on it. Like, people act like Hayden is the scum of the earth even when he didn't do nothing. Right? Like when he was with Tamara and he was being calm and he wasn't doing anything to them, they were still like putting up their noses at him. Which is fine. They should. He's a menace. He is also a career criminal. But he's not like Gary. For some reason, Gary can literally hit women financially, emotionally, and verbally, a boo-boo women all of that, right? And apart from Andy's friends, sometimes, because sometimes, especially when Andy is like, it's fine now, guys, it's fine now, they're all just like, okay, I guess. I feel like Gary needs the Hayden treatment. The actual treatment of like, get this man off my show, hate this man, let this man go. He needs all that. You know what I mean? So that's what I would like to see more of, just saying. But yeah, back to giving Andy her flowers. I really appreciated how she came at Hayden with nothing but the facts. I wish she would have ended it with, which part did I lie about? Because you were saying that I'm gonna like fill her head with lies. Which part did I lie about? Andy did not lie to this man once. Everything she told Penelope was true. Except the I don't love him no more part. I don't know how much I actually believe that. But, you know, I can see why you'd say that, Antima. I could see why you'd say that. So Penelope, she's flipping out. She can't believe this man was married. She can't believe this man, you know, used her the way that he used her. Fatima keeps butting in, and then Hayden would butt in, and you know, like a lot is going on. A lot is going on. I feel like, this is just me personally, I feel like even though this was very much a successful conversation on the girls' part, they should still be a little bit more wary. I feel like what will happen is they'll like buck up to these niggas, and then they'll be like, huh, we won the verbal conversation, I guess we're done here. Like, no, they're gonna do something else, especially since you peed them off with the verbal. They're definitely gonna do something physical and come at you like you're not safe. You know what I mean? So yeah, that I just wish they would be more cognizant of that, especially Fatima. But yeah, continuing on, Gary continues with his rants, you know, about how much he didn't really care about Andy, and Andy goes in on him. Now, I appreciate it because, you know, it's always fun. You know, I've always loved Andy telling Gary that she's just using him and he ain't nothing. You know, I love that. But I've never taken it very seriously, because it's like, girl, you say this, but your actions tell a different story. So she goes in on him saying that, you know, I've been over you for longer than you think. Like, all that time you got me the condo and the car, I was over you. But I decided to use you for money until I could find somebody I actually like. And even though it would be fun to imagine that she really meant that for real, I'm not sure she did. I'm sorry, guys. I know I was giving her 10s, but she is not my favorite character, and this is one of the reasons why. The writing is very inconsistent with the acting. And let's not say she's a bad actress. She's actually not. But it's like, even when Gary said, we both know that's not true, low-key I was like, and the way that you act is the reason why he can say, I know you still want me, girl. You know what I mean? So for me, that's just what's like bothering me on that front. But yeah, she went in on him and I enjoyed it. But after the fact, when I thought about it, I was like, ugh, is that all true? Because during that time, Robin was a factor, and I feel like he was your perfect man, but you just let that go for Gary. I don't think, because I feel like you could have told Robin that, like, yeah, I still have to F with Hayden because, you know, I don't want you to lose your job and I don't want to lose my job. You know what? I feel like Robin is the type of guy that you could have said all that to, but you didn't. So I don't necessarily fully believe that at the point where you had the condo, you didn't care about him anymore. I'm sorry. I just don't personally believe that. Shoot me if you want to. But yeah, they go in on each other. Hayden goes in on Fatima, and they're going through it. It's a pretty fun scene, but Penelope is over it. She wants to leave, and this scene took up almost half the episode, which I didn't mind because I enjoyed every second of it. I had a lot of fun. Penelope got the last word in on Gary. She's like, I don't ever want to talk to you again. She pushed him and ran. I don't know if she gave him the ring or whatever, but as they were leaving, Andy giggled. I thought it was hilarious. I'm telling you, this is an Andy I like. I wish it was more consistent with her character, but if they had planned to characterize her like this is what I like. Alright, so ending the office plot, Fatima leaves her phone in there, and so they're able to hear the aftermath of the whatever just went down. And Andy finally hears what she needs to hear. She hears that Gary considers her to be a whore, right? I do think Gary loves Andy, but obviously it's in a very toxic way, so it doesn't really matter. But he's saying to Hayden, he's just using Andy for sex. That's all he really cared about. Because Andy's ran through, and he said it in a much worse way than the people that she's held against those similar sentiments in the past. So just saying. So Andy hears that, and she doesn't even seem super shocked. She's just like, okay. But I'm glad she heard it, because she needed to hear it. She needed to close the book on that chapter. She needed to do it, honestly. What I'm upset about is that she didn't let Penelope hear. And I'm probably, because you guys are like, because she's pregnant. It's because she's pregnant. Okay. She fine, but whatever. So, what I wanted Penelope to hear is that Gary thinks that she's weak. And so he's going to keep trying to get back in with her because of the baby and because she's weak. And so he feels like it'll be easier for him to make it up to her and trick him back to her side. Also, when they brought up to Gary that there are other women, Hayden seemed slightly surprised. He was like, oh wow. I'm gonna need the short men to sound off. Is it really that bad? There's so many women that are so short out there. Why the complex gotta be this high? Gary is a sociopath. He had her. He had Andy. But he kept being a creep. He kept being an aboo-boo-er. He kept being a terrible person. To the point where Andy is now realizing that Jasmine wasn't just crazy for no reason. She was crazy because she was with Gary. I've always found it weird when men who could pull women still act crazy. I thought that was an ugly man's game. I don't really consider Gary to be gorgeous, but I know some of y'all do. You know what I mean? I don't understand why he kept doing this over and over and over. Okay, fine. Too much happened with Andy for him to stay with her. And too much happened with Jasmine. Okay. You have Penelope. Why continue to lie? Why continue to try and get Andy back in your good graces? What's wrong with this nigga? How you got so many options and you still can't do any semblance of the right thing? Not even a slight semblance. I hate this man. I want him off my screen. It is what it is. Okay. Lastly, Andy tells Fatima, that it was a bad idea. Fatima admits that she did feel bad for Hayden because Tamara was going too far, but he just won't leave her alone. I'm gonna need y'all to stay on guard. I know the baby thing is taking up a lot of your time, but I need you to realize that Hayden will be coming back. And that's what I wanted to talk about. I don't think Andy or Fatima is thinking about this logically, right? I don't think anybody was thinking about this logically, right? Y'all were upset that Danny was the one admitting stuff to the point where people are theorizing that maybe Gary is the one that had to do with the accident that happened at the end of the episode. But it's Why is nobody thinking about the fact that, yo, Hayden and Gary are about to combine forces? Because before, they were working by themselves and every now and then giving each other information to help. But now they are trying to combine forces to help end Fatima and Andy. This is very bad. And I don't know why Fatima and Andy aren't sitting down having a meeting trying to figure out what they need to do to combat this. Instead, Andy is telling Fatima to go rest. And Fatima's telling Andy to go get pretty for Jordan. Don't nobody care about Jordan right now, ma'am? Maurice said that Fatima's gonna lose her job and end up in prison. You guys are not safe. I'm gonna need them to take it more to take what's happening here better. Strengthen up, strategize up, or potentially just erase Gary and Hayden from the show. Why do you have two powerful people with money who are planning to mess up these girls' lives, but you don't make the girls take it seriously and then nothing happens because this show barely has consequences for any actions? Barely. There are a few, but they're not in the multitude. Like, come on, bro, come on. Good grief. So, you know what, I'll just leave it there. If I feel like talking about it more, I'll make another video. But yeah. Next scene, we will talk about Karen. I am annoyed. Because I told you guys that Tyler Perry was trying to gaslight us into saying that this man was attractive. He's not. First of all, Karen is saying that she's not looking for a man. Second of all, if a man were to appear, because, you know, sometimes you find someone to be with when you're not looking. It happens a lot. Why this nigga? Before I get to the points that are bothering me in terms of worried for Karen, let's get to the parts that are annoying me. Why is this woman talking about that this man is perfect because he's doing the bare minimum? It's like going to somebody's house and like it's clean. Not like deep clean, but like there are no socks on the floor, no open bags of chips, no food remnants. Like everything is just basically clean, right? There's some dust around the place, you know. If you touch one of the tables, some dust might come out on your hand, but like it's not like gross dirty. It's not like rat and roaches dirty. And they're like, oh my God, this guy is perfect. No, he's good. He's okay. He's a good person. Bare minimum does not equal perfection. You see what I was talking about with Tyler Perry and the propaganda? Now he's trying to tell us that a guy who doesn't cheat on his wife is perfect. Because cheating is so fundamental to the male chromosome that if you find one who not gonna do that, you hit the jackpot. Excuse me? I thought Aaron, you know, let me not, because y'all niggas don't like Aaron, but in my personal opinion, red flag. The fact that Tyler Perry wants us to believe that this ugly man is attractive as well, red flag. You're not gonna manipulate me into that. Tyler, I'm sorry. I'm not falling for that. Do something else with your time. Can't you knit? Weave a basket, whatever. Do something. Because this is not it. Home slice. Let me skip because I don't care. So Chelsea is a new character. She's going to be the commercial contractor in the realty side. I feel like they're working together low-key. Maybe that's his wife. I don't know. But there's still something sketchy. I know I'm upset because they're showing that this guy really likes her, which is really all that Chelsea was trying to dig into Karen. Like, oh, this man likes you. But for me personally, what is upsetting to me is that I feel like even with the dumbness of, ooh, he really like you, sis, I'm also still getting the scammy vibe. I'm still getting the he trying to scam you out of money vibe, right? But Chelsea is just there trying to reiterate to us like, no, that really high price amount he spoke of is actually really low. And it kind of proves that he really likes you like that. Okay. But let me tell y'all, even though I'm gonna let it go, I'm still on high alert. The matter of fact, I ain't got sleep in front of my eyes. I'm still on the Velma Dinkley time. Okay? So that's about it. I'm really not going to get into it anymore. Obviously, they were like, how come he took you here instead of just asking you to follow him with your car? I agree. I done told y'all that this guy was flirting around with Karen. I knew it. A lot of people were like, oh, he's just going to scam her. And I agree he's going to scam her. But I could see that he was attracted to her. Here's the last thing I'm going to say, and then I'm going to move on. Why him? Now, mind you, Karen has been the bottom rung on my tier list for a long time. So, a year ago, I would have laughed if her prospect was like an ugly married guy with kids. But considering that Karen is being nicer, I'm going to give her a little bit of empathy. That's not cool. Do better. Alright, so next, Fatima and Zacchaeus. So Fatima, rightfully so, says that it's a very bad idea for Zach to go over there and try to bid for his son with Heather, because Heather is a stripper and strippers know how to haggle, or they know how to sense that somebody has more money than they're giving and try to get that money out, because that is the street life that Heather is accustomed to, and Fatima knows that Heather is not stupid. Now, I don't know why Zach thinks Heather is dumb. Heather is dumb, but she's not street dumb, and street dumb knows that when a money opportunity arises, they know how to try to capitalize off of it. They may not capitalize off of it the right way every time, but they know how to capitalize off of it in some manner of respect. And I feel like Zach, having very similar upbringings, having a very rough life, saying that Heather was like his mom, I feel like you should have also been known that the way that you were about to do this was the wrong way. Just saying. So let's just skip over that. Oh, I also want to mention, I think it's so interesting that she has had a rough day. Like, having Hayden threaten her 50,000 times, that's rough. She has to come home, right? She has to come home. And then she has to immediately get up and prepare to threaten people for her boyfriend's son. This is why I say that Fatima deserves better. It is not because she is so much better than Zach, 1,000% better. No. It's because with all of the ways she has tried to better her life, I think it's so sad that she can't even relax at home from work without having to go fight some pseudo custody battle with him and his ghetto baby mama. That's all I have to say on that. But I do appreciate that he wasn't like, I'm so glad you riding for me in this episode. I do appreciate that. I will call out that I complain about it all the time, so I appreciate that he stopped saying it. But I am saying that even in these moments where there's something wrong with them as a couple, these stressful times that Fatima still has to account for is the reason why I'm saying I don't like them together anymore. This is too much. This is way too much. At least with the Hayden stuff, that's of her own making. But this don't got nothing to do with Fatima. And the fact that this situation is also something that Hayden could use against them, good luck. All right. Sabrina spoke to Danny again. We're not going to discuss that really. Maurice is deciding that he wants to be a cam girl for some money. And hey, whatever makes him money, Sabrina's disgusted by that because she's judgmental. But like, for right now, what other job is he gonna get? I will say, him being a cam girl is gonna come up on the search engine and it'll make it harder for him to get a job. But that's what she should have said. You can't come at things so judgmentally, Sabrina. You have to come at them logically, especially when you're talking to a guy, even if it's an effeminate guy. You have to be like, okay, I'm not judging. Yes, it could be a way to make some extra cash while you are in limbo in the job market right now. However, if you want to get back into corporate or economic America in any sense, it would probably be a good idea to have this felony that we had be the only bad thing on your list. Because number one, if you have the whole bank robbery association plus webcam work, it's going to seem like you were way more involved with Q than you actually were when it came to the bank robbery. And it's going to be like, oh, he's a hood rat. We're not hiring him. So I feel like if you go do the webcam thing, then you can't go back into corporate America. You really gonna have to take Calvin up on his offer to become a real estate agent, because that's gonna be the only way you gonna make some good money ever again. That's what I tell myself. Okay, if you want to become a cam girl, realize that is you closing the door, right? Unless you plan to wear masks so nobody can see you, and you have a VPN, which even then they could possibly still find you. But if you're gonna go out there with your face, you are giving up any ties to your old job, any form of your old job. You're giving that up. I just wanted to say that. I wish she had come to him with that instead of just being like, what are you wearing? It's like, I get it. I wouldn't do that either. But you have to come at him with the facts, not just the opinions. Anyways. Then we get to one of the worst parts of the episode. Danny and that nigga, Tony. One thing I didn't appreciate was Sabrina, being a hypocrite. I remember like 3 different times when Sabrina said that she had a good feeling about Preston, and that Danny shouldn't be so hard on Preston, and that Danny should apologize to Preston, and that Danny should give Preston a chance throughout the seasons, right? It's not to say that Preston never did anything wrong. Of course he's done wrong things. But compared to all the other men on the show, Preston is dang near an angel. And I'm not going to take the slander anymore. Okay, guys? Relax. Ain't nobody say he perfect. But compared to Danny, we know who's mostly at fault here. And y'all should be mad at the writers for making the women be so much at fault in majority of these relationships. Right? Even with Andy, who was in a boo-boo relationship with Gary, we sympathize with her all the time, but then she kept going back to this nigga, even when at times it looked like she got to clear out to leave. So it's like, even when they have reasons for us to feel sorry for them, the writing keeps pushing that, nah, you can't feel sorry for them, it's really their fault. And that's how the men who watch Sistas always find a way to blame the women without trying to have any empathy or sympathy. I'm trying now, as you see, to have more empathy and sympathy, even if I don't like them, because I'm trying to be nicer. I'm trying. Because I've seen these reviews by these men, and it bothers me. Not because they don't need to watch the show, but because they're coming from the place of being more logical, right? They're seeing the show, and they're watching all the scenes, and as dumb as they are, they're trying to look at it from a logical perspective of, why would Danny do this still? Why would Andy go back to Gary still? Why does Sabrina keep playing with Calvin like this? Why ain't Karen just leave Zach alone and get a real pregnancy test and get a real DNA test and sort all this out? Why she treat Aaron like that? Right? So even though they will also call out the men too, they call out the women more because the women keep running it back in a way that doesn't make any logical sense to them. And so me, I have to come and I have to obviously say when the girls are wrong, as I always do, but I have to come at the men too, right? Most of them, because not all of them, but most of them, because most of them be wrong and weird and creepy and abubors and criminals. But I also have to come and have even just a speck of empathy for the women. And I'm just explaining to you guys why I do it, because it's like, oh my god, some people are coming at Danny in my last video, and I agree. I definitely agree. But the reason why I say anything positive about her or try to look at it from any other angle, devil's advocate, whatever, is because I know that when niggas see it, all they gonna do is bash, 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 bash. And there has to be another way to look at it, or I try to look at it from all angles where I can for certain people. Just telling you how I think. I don't really care about her and Tony. That's why I'm not really discussing Danny and Tony. They had a lot of banter. One thing that rubbed me the wrong way was when he made it sexual, or the conversation was getting slightly sexual, and he was like, "You speak in my language?" Boring. But guys are like that though. Guys can be like that. Some of them, most of them, a lot of them. It's all they care about. I think it was so lame how Danny sort of alluded to the fact that, I might share a bed with you tonight. Why? You're just starting to process what happened with Jonah, because you're not over it, but you're processing it, right? what Preston did hit you in a place that you didn't even really expect it to hit you. Sabrina warned you that you are in a fragile place right now. So she didn't say don't go out with Tony, but she said, I could help you, I could go with you, just to be there for you, be your sober coach, stop from making a bad decision. Right? This is the most Sabrina has ever cared about Danny within the last 6 years I've been watching this show. And you still gonna throw away everything that she said to go off with Tony. Whatever. Do you at this point? Because who cares, right? But yeah. And then, she goes off to her car. Somebody broke into her car. And the somebody who broke up her car, I don't know, tried to chloroform her or grab her. People are trying to speculate who it is. I have no idea. And low-key, I don't care. Danny is fine. Okay? She's not going to lose a limb. She's not going to die. She's a main character of this show. She not going nowhere. I know some of y'all want Danny to leave this show. And so y'all are having this really weird wish fulfillment, seeing her get grabbed up and stabbed up or whatever. But she's fine. Even if she gets kidnapped, she'll be fine. It'll just be the next plot point for season 7 that she got kidnapped or whatever. So, I did want to bring up that I didn't like it though. I think it's so annoying that Danny has to keep getting some of the worst blowback for seeing around a lot of men, stripper, IT, dirty cop, because Logan is a dirty cop, Jonah, who's an aboo-boo-er, and now Tony, who's a weirdo and a creep. Why does she keep getting these ultimate weirdos? I don't get it. Sabrina has never gotten men that are that weird. For the most part in those relationships, the problem is usually her. With Jabari, the problem was her. With Calvin, the problem was her. And with Bio, the problem was her. So, she was the problem in those relationships. Andy, the problem was Gary. But then she had Paris and Robin and she flubbed the bag. And she's talking about how much she really likes Jordan. Like, girl, do better. Karen, we all know that with Zach, he was the problem and she was the problem. A lot of people love to act like, Zach did one or two bad things, but it was mostly Karen. No. Zach was a bum biddy bum bum bum, and he was irresponsible and he was flighty. But Karen did a lot of stuff too that she shouldn't have done. Like I said, the writers always have to put a big chunk of the responsibility on the girls, whether it's realistic or not. Anyways. I guess, should I talk about Zach, Fatima, and Heather? Yeah, so Heather clocked the money, okay? They found his son tied up in the bathroom, which is so funny because he didn't even really look uncomfortable. Like, he looked like he could survive right there or whatever. No, I'm not saying it was a good environment, but I'm saying, like, they should have done a better job. Like, actual rope or duct tape or something to make it look more, hazardous. Because right now it just looked goofy. Like, I had to rewind it because they panned away so quick. It's like, what? You didn't have enough screen time to show him actually being tied up? Do better. Please. Anyways, so they grabbed the kid. Fatima yokes Heather up and says, don't move. Don't move. It don't move. So they went away. Final words. I will have a video about season 7 because I really want to get into that, but it is what it is. Please let me know your thoughts below. It was a good finale. I know some people didn't like it. They thought it was subpar, but this entire show is subpar. So being that this entire show is subpar, this finale was good for the subparness of the show. That's all I'm gonna say. It was good for the show. It's not good in general, like the pinnacle of good writing. Absolutely not. Also, next year, we're gonna have a whole lot more videos on this channel. I'm gonna talk about Legend of Korra. I'm talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender, especially because the live action is coming out. I'm gonna be all over that. I will also be giving you videos next week about For Better or Worse, because I told you I would, and I want to talk about something that's gonna make me laugh. And I will be having Sistas chats about my thoughts throughout the week, because I know you guys actually really like those, and I am very happy that those videos get a lot of views, because it means you guys actually care. Thank you guys for being with me and for getting me to over 400 subscribers. I love you guys. I love you guys so much. I might make a video just talking about it by itself, because these videos can be quite negative and all over the place. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please put your thoughts down below. I respond to all of you all the time. You know that. Goodbye, my sires. Sue. And a happy new year.